All right, so as promised, we begin simple. Just knowing root names, that's easy enough. And specifically, beginning with the low E and A string. These are the most essential, and we'll demonstrate why later. So, I assume you know the musical alphabet, and I'll assume that you know the names of the strings. I mean, if you don't, you can actually Google this information. It's not obscured. So, you have an E chord. We'll forget about what tonality for now. The root is E, okay? And that would be with our low E string to begin with. If you have an A chord, the root would be an A. I'm just playing the open A string. Okay, so what I'm going to do is show you the roots that are easy to remember and very important. First dot on the low E string, that's G. Next dot, A, and then B. Then we got on the A string, we're going to have C, D, and E. I'm still just sticking with the dots. Then on the D string, we'll have F, G again, and then A again. Now, to begin with, this is all you really need to memorize, just for now. Later on, we'll memorize the whole fretboard. But when you know these, then you can figure out all the notes in between very easily. For example, you see a G sharp whatever chord. Then you know the root is one fret up from the G. So we have G, G sharp. Now, this is where improvising is going to begin. I mean to say, the root of the chord is the most important thing. It's the first step you have to learn in order to start improvising. Of course, we want to learn the roots all over the neck. Now, this could sound scary at first, but don't let it. To begin with, here's an octave trick. There's two shapes to find with the octaves. If we start on our G, if we skip the A string, go to the D string using our ring finger and play the 5th fret, which is also the G, that'd be the higher octave. Now, if you have an A, the shape stays the same, you see. And if we're doing it from the A string, play a C note, that same shape is the octave still. It'll always be an octave until we are on the D string. So say, for example, I play this F, my index finger. If I do that same shape as before with my ring finger on the 5th fret of the B string, we've got a major 7 interval. It's a very beautiful interval in my book, but it's not an octave. So what we need to do is use our pinky. That's on the 6th fret of the B string. Now this shape remains the same wherever we move it. We play our G. This will also be a G, you see? Now we know a huge mass of the fretboard compared to just a moment ago before we knew this octave shape. Now this second shape with our pinky involved, that's going to be the same if we start on the G string, wherever we move it. Now this is a crutch. It's something you want to overcome, and hopefully it won't take so long to do that anyway. But on the other hand, you'll never forget it. Now we're going to want to be able to recognize the roots anywhere. It's like, for example, I've had some younger students, and they've memorized the times tables. Now that's a lot of information that they memorize. They don't do the math every time. They don't have to think about it or figure it out. They just memorize this times that equals this. You see, it'll be the same with us. If somebody says D, whatever the chord might be, minor, major, etc. If they say D, we know the D is on the 5th fret of the A string. However, as we learn more, we know that the D is here also, or here, or here. What we want to be able to do is see on a chart D, and then we can find it immediately without hesitation, just like young kids do with times tables.